welcome back to the channel. This is the 12th Total Tactics testing video here in this series, and we are finally tackling a shape that is extremely popular. We're going to tackle the 4-2-3-1. Now, obviously it has, because it's my tactic, has a few asymmetrical options, and we'll talk through some of those things and why as we look at the tactic. But I also wanted to remind you, if you haven't seen it yet, last week's video was called the 5-Change Challenge, where we also looked at a 4-2-3-1 tactic, and it was one of the default tactics that is in Football Manager, and I challenged the viewers to make 5 changes to the tactic, run it through the Total Tactics tester, which is available in the Discord server. The link there is down there in the description, and then post your results and see how you can do. My video has and sets the baseline test results to the vanilla tactic, which is god-awful, and then it allows you to make those 5 changes to your version of the 4-2-3-1 from the default tactic to see how you do and how you stack up against me. In a future video, we'll have another 5-change challenge, and I'll kind of talk you through who did the best in the previous challenge as a part of that video. But for now, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can get more of all of the different tactical series that we have on the channel. But let's take a look at this week's tactic. So this is the shape, and I think it qualifies as a 4-2-3-1. It's got the 2 midfielders, it's got the 3 players on the attacking midfield level, and it has that single striker. So we're going to call it good. Obviously, there's a little bit of asymmetry here, but we'll talk through why that exists here in a second. So let's first talk about the back line. One of the things I've been doing and talking about on the channel is take fewer risks, and something I wanted to do in this tactic is use some roles that take more risks. So this wingback attack on the left here, we do have it set to take more risks to see if we can get a little bit more of an overlap here from that and see what kind of assist numbers that we get from that player. So we don't have them set to stay wider, just to run wide and get further forward and take more risks. It's pretty simple there. In the middle here, we are playing this CM attack to run this channel here where the advance forward I've moved over to give a little bit more room for the CM attack to squeeze in between this inside forward and shadow striker. So the RPM's a little bit off center here to counteract that movement by the CM attack. The CM attack again is just basic vanilla CM attack, get further forward. I haven't gone in and given the extra team instructions of shoot less often or take fewer risks or anything like that. I just wanted to give the CM the most freedom possible to have an impact on the game. This inverted winger on support is meant to be a creator, right? So the creation of the goals is meant to come through the left on this tactic, with both the shadow striker, the CM attack, and the inside forward all as goal scorers, and then the near post runs as the advance forward. So there's really 4 people to aim at, 3 of which are sort of on the right-ish or centered for this inverted winger and wing back to target. So that's sort of the idea. When you look through the team instructions, we are playing out of defense, slightly shorter passes, extremely high tempo, fairly wide. So there's a lot of like vanilla instructions here. We're on positive. It's a 4-2-3-1, so we have to counter press. We're countering. We're taking short kicks. We're playing extremely high line of engagement, a higher defensive line. Like we're getting after the opposition, triggering press much more often. Very simple, standard gegenpress-esque mentalities. So there is some balance to the tactic, right? Like this inverted winger is trying to take fewer risks and shoot less often. The wingback is taking fewer risks as well. So on the left and right, there is someone who's taking fewer risks on both sides. The advance forward, though, defaults to taking more risks. We want them taking more direct passes to get involved, get the other offensive players directly involved in the offense. I'm also having them set up wider to give a little bit more room for that CM. They'll obviously still dive inside, but setting up and having their starting position be wider gives the CM just a little bit more room to make that slashing run through into the box. So that's the tactic. Let's take a look at some of the highlights that it's able to generate, and you can kind of see exactly the movement that I'm talking about with these positions really start to show up in the highlights. All right, so this first highlight is going to be a counterattack. D'Ambrosio is going to center this ball. It's going to get cleared by the defender, and they'll just watch the swift counterattack that's being run here by the AMC and the striker. And the reason why I'm showing you this highlight is the striker movement. Because we have Asym off center, it kind of guarantees, if he uses his pace and body correctly on this transitional play, that he will be inside the right-sided striker and have a clear path to goal, which is sort of the goal, especially when they have such a heavy overlap here of their fullback, which really leaves them exposed and forces the defender on the right of the opposition to stay wider to cover the ground that Ambrosio has vacated, which makes it even easier for Asym to capitalize on that. And so we'll watch the highlight here. It's reasonably quick. D'Ambrosio hits it in. Koulibaly or Rahmani, someone clears it. And then Zielinski just runs, and look at Asym start his play here and just gets the inside of Skriniar and then is able to finish with his right foot with a nice little chip over the keeper. So the other thing I want to quickly talk about is I am a big fan of strikers on the left having a dominant right foot, because I want them to be able to use that right foot when they're cutting in towards the keeper to shoot at the far post. I find that I get a lot more goal scoring out of when I have opposite foot strikers on the opposite side. So like right-footed players on the left, left-footed players on the right. They score more goals. I'll get more assists out of strikers that are same side, same foot. But in terms of goal scoring, I like having that inside boot as the shooting boot. And Asym's goal here kind of shows you when you have that inside foot, it gives you some finishing options. All right, in this highlight, the ball starts with the wingback, which is something with the wingback on attack that we haven't done very often on the channel. And it kind of shows you where the wingback and the inverted winger are often in a position to cross the ball and be the providers here. So Biragi starts with the ball, has it here, and then plays a early cross here, kind of a through ball almost, to Insigne, who has the ability to shoot at the near post there, or fire the cross into the near post. It's blocked well, and Osimhen's able to kind of control the block back to Insigne, and then Insigne fires it into the middle again to Zielinski. So two things of note here. One, you saw the two creative options, Biragi and Insigne, on the wing in a position to make crosses. Two, because you have the striker, the shadow striker, the inside forward, and the CM attack, there was like a 3-on-2, 4-on-3, 4-on-2 situation at the near post, because there's just so much volume of those four runners and not enough defenders. You've got some defenders that are out of position here that weren't really marking people. You had Asym pulling a defender away, which then just led to the opportunity then right behind that defender for Zielinski. So again, and we've talked about that a lot in the channel, is using these CM attack runs, inside forward runs, shadow striker runs to really overwhelm the box when the low crosses do come in, and once again, it led to a goal here. This is a fun highlight because it just shows you the power of the CM attack. It's a quick one. I'm not even going to narrate too much of it here. There's a few passes, then there's a ball over the top, and the CM attack is just runs onto it, and nobody reacts to it fast enough. So here we go. Rui up to Insigne to Fabian. Fabian hits it one time. Flat-footed defender. Is totally exposed, and Pessina just runs right at him. He's a CM attack. There's no midfield trackers. Like, nothing else is happening here on this highlight except Pessina just streaming through. The RPM hits him, and it's just, the CM attack is just a thing of beauty. All right, we're going to start this ball from the defense here, where Bremer outlets to Insigne, and then Fabian does use the overlap of Mario Rui. So I'll pause it there and kind of explain how Rui got so open, which is when Insigne kind of held up the ball and passed it backwards, which kind of froze Versalco and Felix, both kind of marked him, which gave Rui the chance to kind of overlap on the attack beyond that support inverted winger. And it's a really powerful move, and like, good on Fabian to find Rui in space. And so now Rui just has the ability to play wide for a cross. We can see though Asym is pretty deep, as is Pessina, and Tonali must have gotten the start in this game at CM attack, but also Zielinski. So Muriel is the attacking option here. We haven't seen a goal from the inside forward yet, but he's the one far enough up the pitch to run with Rui. He's there on the back post. Back post crosses very powerful in FM23. 23, FM22. I'm getting ahead of myself, already dreaming of the content for the channel going forward. It's just a class finish by Muriel, and the defenders are just flat-footed watching it happen. And even if that shot's saved, there's so many men in the box there that possibility to tap home or rebound, or if Muriel was marked better, he cuts it back. Lots of options for Muriel there. Instead, he just finishes it off, but shows the power again of that wingback overlap in this particular tactic. Fabian covering for that wingback deep with the ball over the top, and also the support inverted winger kind of putting a hold on a couple of the defenders to give Rui even more space to operate, and it led to a goal. All right, let's take a look at some of the results, which is, I think, what most of you are probably interested in. Is this a 4-2-3-1 that you should be running in your saves? I think it's pretty strong. It's not the absolute best test result we've seen, but I don't have a ton of experience with this shape. I haven't played much of it on this FM, but I do think it's performed very well, and we should really kind of take these results and look into them a little bit. So we'll start with the Elite League, as we always do. And Napoli finished third, which is a decent finish, plus 23 on the goal difference, but also scored a division best 86 goals, which is a pretty good total. 64 points is, I think, above average for most tests on the tester, and definitely shows that this tactic can do a lot of damage against the better opposition. So 19 wins, 10 losses, like a pretty good ratio. So well done by Napoli here in the Elite League. I think the test did well. In the Balanced League, we finished second. We do get 81 points, which puts us 7 behind Liverpool, who's very hard to beat in this division, but massively clear of Real Madrid. We won the last 5 games, only 7 losses, 97 goals scored, which is more than Liverpool. Now, they play a fairly defensive 4-3-3 system, so they've only conceded 19 in this division. We've conceded 45, which isn't great, but by scoring 97, we just blew away most of the teams in scoring fest. So I think what you're starting to see is this tactic is a good one to score goals, and we've managed to win the Average Teams League, which some of our best tests sometimes finish second in the Average Teams League, and we haven't really quite figured out why. But plus 44 goal difference, 82 goals, performed a little bit better defensively here by allowing 38, but we're leading the league in points, in goals, and in goal difference, and almost one of the best defensive teams. I think third defensively here in the Average League. So obviously we won the league, so it's a very good result in the Average League. And then the Underdogs League, 86 points, which I think is about the threshold for you've successfully dominated the Underdog League, plus 56 goal difference, only allowed 32, again scored 88. So we didn't hit triple digit goals in any of these leagues, but also I think we fared reasonably well defensively. So yes, we did not hit 100, which some of the tactics that are very offensive have done on the channel. But this tactic, I think, is a little bit more balanced, does a good job using some width for attack, but also keeps some wide defenders on support, some of the midfielders and attackers on support, to be able to give it a little bit of a defensive backbone. And the other thing I'd like to do when we talk through the results is sort of see where the goals and things are coming from. And unsurprisingly, Victor Osimhen had 26 goals from the advanced forward position, but we talked about how we wanted that offense to come through the left side, and Lorenzo Insigne had 25 assists, and then Rui had another 11 from the fullback position. Just absurd creative totals here coming down the left, and it really shows that we've kind of dialed in this tactic exactly the way we wanted it to. And even Fabian from the left here had 5 assists as the roaming playmaker. So I'm really happy with how this went. Luis Muriel, 13 goals as the inside forward. Pacina, 11 goals as that CM attack. And this is in the Elite League, which is a extremely competitive league, obviously. If we look at some of the results here statistically in the other leagues, another 25 goals for Osimhen, but Muriel here shows the power in the Balanced League of the inside forward with 24 goals. Pacina, 10 goals, 10 assists. And again, Insigne, 21 assists this time out. And where is Mario Rui? Here he is, chipping in with another 7 as well. So Fabian with another 7. So we are kind of getting the creative parts of the team coming from this like triangle of players here on the left, which is the design of the tactics. So it's really good to see the plan come together. We'll quickly look at advanced as well. Oh, that was the wrong button. All right, over here, there we go. We click on the advanced league, click on tactics, and you can see here again, Insigne only 14 assists this time, but Zelensky chipped in with 10, another 9 for Mario Rui. So we're getting, again, most of the assists coming through here on the left, and the same is true in the balanced league. So in the balanced league, again, Insigne is getting 15 assists here. Rui chips in with another 9, and that's just where the offense is coming from. Again, here, now Muriel tops goal scorer here as the inside forward, so there is a lot of goal scoring potential here with the right personnel here coming in off this inside forward position. I think it's a really powerful tactic, and I give you a chance to play with it, customize it a little bit to your players. I don't think it is fully optimized. There definitely is the potential for improvement in this tactic, and I'd love to see what you're able to do with the tactic. Go ahead and post in the Discord. And remember, you can always download the testing database from that Discord server. The link is in the description, and give yourself a chance to test your tactics or make tweaks to the tactics that I've made and shared in a Dropbox folder available in the Discord and in the Discord channel itself. So get involved and just try to be a part of the conversation about tactics, and hopefully you continue to improve as a tactician as we continue to build towards the FM23 cycle.